Okay, good afternoon and welcome to the Kannapolis City Council meeting here for January the 12th, 26. Welcome everybody here. It's a new year and a new council, really. If you look, we look a little different now than we did a couple months ago. We got a lot of exciting things we're going to talk about here tonight. So, as been our custom, we're going to have a moment of silence, and then Ms. Dixon is going to do the pledge for us. If we could all rise, please turn off your cell phones. Amen.
Please join me in saluting the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Council, we have an agenda in front of us. What's your pleasure?
Mayor, I move for approval.
Mr. Jackson?
Second.
Second, Mr. Dayball. All in favor, please raise your hands. Okay. We're going to start here with a recognition, I think. Mr. Mills?
Great. Thank you, Mayor, Council. It's kind of a special night for us, and so I hope everybody recognizes that as well. So as many of you are aware, we recently assumed operations of the historic Swanee Theater, a community performance venue in the heart of our downtown, adding another live entertainment option in addition to our award-winning summer concert series. As part of this transition, the city has elevated the theater's mission to serve as an inclusive community-centered space that celebrates the arts, fosters cultural expression, and supports local economic growth. And outside of some standing room-only seats remaining, we sold out our last 6 shows at the Swanee. While the theater has established itself as a destination for musical performances for adult audiences, youth-focused programming was noticeably absent. In response, the city launched the Children's Theater Series during the 2025 summer season, now the award-winning Children's Theater Series. The success of the Children's Theater Series has made one thing clear. There's a strong and growing desire for performing arts programming in Kannapolis. These performances have not only brought new audiences into the Swanee Theater, but have also inspired broader community engagement with the space as we have experienced more inquiries for the usage of the space to include other performing arts venues, much like the sold-out Salisbury Symphony that we just recently hosted. There's been dance recitals, choir concerts, and school performances, all looking at the Swanee for usage. The North Carolina Recreation and Parks Association recognized this program as one of the state's best. At the recent joint conference with South Carolina, the city of Kannapolis was presented the 2025 Arts and Humanities Award for our children's theater programs. Here to accept the award is Reagan Ellis. She's one of our fantastic program coordinators and does a great job with our Swanee operations. Here to talk a little bit more about the program and the award is the Vice President of NCRPA, as well as the Director for Iredell County Parks and Recreation, Daniel Leatherman.
Good evening. Mayor and council members, thank you for allowing me to speak with you this afternoon. My name is Daniel Leatherman. As Gary said, I'm the president-elect for North Carolina Recreation and Parks Association, as well as serving as the director of Iredell County Parks and Recreation. I'm sure you already know this, but you have much to be proud of with this team led by Mr. Mills, and receiving this Arts and Humanities Award is just the latest recognition for a fantastic department. The Arts and Humanities Awards celebrate the most innovative and impactful programs from NCRPA agency members. This award honors the imagination, dedication, and energy that brings arts and humanities programs to life. In addition to the incredible programming the department already does, I'd also like to commend each of you for continuing your support of cultural arts programming. As you all know, these services are not mandated, but I assure you they are essential as they enrich lives and strengthen communities here in Kannapolis. In 2025, Kannapolis Parks and Recreation launched the Children's Theater Series at the historic Swanee Theater, bringing immersive performing arts to children and families who had never experienced live theater. Unlike traditional programs, this series invited audience members on stage to become characters, sparking imagination, confidence, and creativity. Partnering with Sigmund Theatrical, the performances focused on character building, problem solving, compassion, and creative exploration. With 4 original shows, including meet and greets, the series drew nearly 950 attendees, sold out 2 performances, and attracted many first-time visitors, reflecting strong community interest and engagement. Beyond entertainment, the program has expanded access to arts, inspired broader cultural participation, and positioned the theater as a welcoming, inclusive hub for the entire community. On a personal note, I was particularly encouraged that the Children's Theater Series was carefully curated to support key aspects of childhood development, including those problem-solving, decision-making, empathy, compassion, and creative thinking skills. Programs like these help fulfill the theater's mission to be a place where everyone in the community can feel seen, inspired, and welcome. The Children's Theater Series has laid the groundwork for year-round family programming and continues to serve as a model for how arts and culture can be leveraged to support youth development, community connection, and inclusive access to the performing arts. This program and the department are celebrated as leaders amongst the state, and you should be very proud. Thank you.
And we now have a very important proclamation from Martin Luther King. Ms. Dixon's going to do that for us.
I would ask that the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Committee please come and stand with me. Thank you. Good evening. This is Dr. Kim Luter, who is the chair of the Kannapolis Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Committee, and I'd ask that she will introduce her team, please.
And my co-chair, Mr. Gerald Lundy, Mr. Daniel Squirewell, and Mr. Robert Neal, all members of
And so from Kannapolis, this should say Office of the Mayor and Office of the City Council, Kannapolis, North Carolina Proclamation, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Whereas Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. dedicated his life to advancing equality, justice, and civil rights for all people through nonviolent action and unwavering courage. And whereas his leadership and vision inspired a movement that transformed our nation, challenging us to confront injustice and work towards a society where every individual is treated with dignity and respect. And whereas Dr. King's legacy continues to remind us of the importance of service, compassion, and unity in building stronger communities. And whereas the observance of Martin Luther King Jr. Day provides an opportunity for all citizens to reflect on his teachings and to recommit ourselves to the principles of equality and justice. Now, therefore, the mayor of Kannapolis, along with the city council of Kannapolis, North Carolina, does hereby proclaim Monday, January 19, 2026, as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day in the city of Kannapolis, and we encourage all residents to honor Dr. King's memory through acts of service, dialogue, and community engagement. Furthermore, we invite everyone to join in the weekend festivities and events celebrating Dr. King's life and legacy, including a parade on Monday, January 19, 2026. In witness thereof, the mayor and city council has caused the seal of the city of Kannapolis to be affixed this 12th day of January, 2026. Please join me in saluting this committee. Good to see you. You look so good.
Nice seeing you.
How are you? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Dixon. Now we have speakers from the floor, and we're going to have some business we have to do first. If you remember on our last meeting, we had a request that we look at making some changes to this, and we're going to try and do that tonight. So I'm going to turn this over now to our attorney, if he can explain which way we're going to go here, please.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. First order of business, in order to have your public comment period at the beginning of your meeting and at both of your regular meetings, the second and fourth Mondays per month, is to amend your public speakers policy. In your packet, there is a red line. You'll see in section C that the amendment to the policy indicates that the public comment period will now happen at both the second, at each of your meetings, again, the second and fourth Mondays of the month, and then it will be reserved at, on your agendas for that. Each of those meetings, you would not need to go back and revise this policy in the event that you decided to, for example, switch the timing of the public comment period at a particular meeting to the end. If there's any questions, happy to take questions.
Any questions now from anyone? All right, we need a motion then to move forward with this. Do we have a motion? Mr. Daywalt? Ms. Hatchell? All in favor, if you will, raise your hands, please. Everybody's good with that? Thank you. So now, I think that we open in the floor at this moment, is that right? So I'll turn it over to Ms. Skaggs.
Good evening. So tonight, I call up your name to speak, I'll call you in the order that I received cards. So far, I only have one card to speak. That is Mr. Zach Irwin. You will have 4 minutes to speak. You'll see the countdown. There's a series of lights on the podium in front of you, and then you'll see the clock countdown. Mr. Irwin?
Good evening, Council. My name is Zach Irwin at 903 Applewood Avenue in Kannapolis. Thank you for having us here, and congratulations to all of our new members. Wish you all the best in governing our city moving forward. I'm actually here to talk about the policy that you just approved, to offer a suggestion. It hasn't been 9 months quite since we last made a significant change to the speakers from a floor session. And one of those changes that was made was to remove the ability of speakers from the floor to submit PowerPoint presentations. That was removed, again, somewhere between 8 or 9 months ago at a previous meeting. And at that time, I spoke out against the measure. But thankfully, we've adjusted the layout of these meetings to where I no longer have to speak after the fact as much, although I am, I guess, speaking after you guys have already approved of new measures. My suggestion is to reinstitute the ability for speakers from the floor to present PowerPoint presentations. This is the 21st century. I can tell you from my experience teaching in the classroom that PowerPoint presentations are both visually appealing, easy access to digital files that can be shared not just amongst the council, but can also be presented in a format to where the people who are in attendance or who are watching online might be able to see what's being discussed, because the current policy makes it such that the person who would come during the speakers from the floor section, if there's ever any information that they want to present to the council in addition to what they're speaking about, they have to do it in print, make copies for each of the individual council members, the city attorney and the city clerk and the city manager. And the general public who are in attendance at the meetings have no clue what's being discussed if they are not able to understand the references to the material that is being provided to the council in those instances. So my recommendation is for the council to consider an amendment to the policy you just passed that would allow for speakers from the floor to present PowerPoints or multimedia presentations for the benefit of public transparency. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Irwin. Do we have any more? Does anyone else want to speak? I guess we're at a point we can ask that since we kind of sprung this on you. Okay, we're going to close that. All right, council, we got a consent agenda. We need a motion to adopt the consent agenda. Ms. Dixon? Second. Ms. Berry, all in favor? Aye, good, okay. Moving on to the business agenda now, and I think Mr. Brian Roberts has some information for us.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight, we're here proudly to get to present the FY25 audit results. As you know, the North Carolina general statutes require an annual audit. It must be completed within 6 months of the end of the fiscal year, which is June 30th of 2025. Before I introduce Brandy Fesperman, I would like to express my appreciation to everyone from across the city that assisted with compiling information for the audit. Also want to acknowledge the finance staff for their dedication to the city, and a special acknowledgement to our Deputy Finance Director, Suzanne Burgess. With that said, I'd like to introduce Brandy Fesperman. She is with Martin Starnes and Associates. She'll be presenting the audit and be available for questions. Thank you.
Good afternoon. All right, so as Brian said, I'll be presenting on your 2025 audited financial statements. In the current year, we issued an unmodified opinion. That's a clean opinion. It's the best that we can give. And before I get too far into this, I would like to thank Brian and Suzanne for all of their help during the audit process. They really are great to work with. So starting off with your general fund, here you can see your revenues and expenditures over the last 5 years. For 2025, your total revenues were $84.5 million and your total expenditures were $85.8 million. Your general fund balance summary. In 2025, your total fund balance was $42.65 million, leaving you with unassigned of $24.8 million. As part of your audit, we look at your fund balance available as a percent of net expenditures. Your fund balance available is your total fund balance less your non-spendable, less your stabilization by state statute. For this specific calculation, we also exclude PAL bill, and that left us with $33.6 million. Your net expenditures were $29.8 million, so that left us with 36.3%. The LGC's minimum for this calculation is 25%, so you're well above that. On into your revenues. The majority of the city's revenues are coming from property taxes, followed by other taxes and licenses, and then unrestricted intergovernmental. For property taxes, you had $50.5 million. This is an increase of about $10.9 million or 27.6% over prior year. Your other taxes and licenses were about $19 million. This was an increase of about $1.9 million or 11.3% over prior year. And your unrestricted intergovernmental was about $4.1 million. This was an increase of about $391,000 or 10.6%. On into your expenditures. The majority of your expenses are coming from your public safety department, followed by general government, and then debt services. Your public safety expenses were about $32.3 million. This was an increase of about $6.4 million or about 25%. Your debt service expenses were about $14.4 million. This was an increase of $257,000 or about 1.8%. And your general government expenses were about $16.4 million. This was a decrease of about $478,000 or 2.8%. Okay. on into your enterprise funds. For your water sewer fund, your total revenues were about 26.5 million, and your expenses were about 24.7. Your stormwater revenues were about 3.5 million, your expenses were about 2.9. And your environmental services revenue were about 4.5 million, and you had expenses of about 7 million. For each of your enterprise funds, we do a ratio looking at your unrestricted cash as a percent of total expenses. This indicator calculates how many months' worth of expenses a unit can pay based on the amount of unrestricted cash at year end. The typical billing cycle is 1 month, or 8.33%. And 1 extra month usually gives a local government enough cash to handle unusual monthly expenses, so 16.66%. This 16% would be the bare minimum necessary to keep the fund from experiencing cash flow issues. So for your water sewer, that was 50%. For stormwater, that was 74%. And for environmental services, that was 29%. So you're well above that threshold for each of these funds. So some positive performance indicators. Your general fund available fund balance percent is above LGC minimums. Your enterprise fund quick ratios were each above LGC minimums. And you appear to have a stable property tax valuation and collection percentage. The city did have 1 finding in the current year. This was considered a material weakness. Management is aware of the issue and it has been corrected, and we do not foresee any issues going forward. You will need to provide a letter to the LGC addressing the performance indicator within 60 days of this presentation. And that is all I have. Are there any questions for me?
Do we have any questions? Yes, Ms. Barry, yes.
Could you explain material weakness, please?
It's an error that occurred during the audit whenever we were looking through. If you want some more information on that specific finding, I can give that to you, but it will also be in your financial reporting. It was an error with the accrual, but that has been communicated and everything was corrected with a prior period adjustment in the current year.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Thank you. That was a very good report.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. All right, we're going to move forward now. Mr. Legg has got, instead of me recognizing him every time we stop with a new appointment, I'm going to say, Mr. Legg, we're turning it over to you now for items B through, it looks like, E. Would that be correct?
That works, Mayor. Thank you.
All right.
The first appointment, we have several in a row. One is the Water and Sewer Authority. Our former Mayor Darrell Hennett was one of the members of the Wasatch Board appointed by City Council, and you need to replace Mr. Hennett with a council member of your choosing, or anybody. It doesn't have to be a council member. The assumption is it is. As we've understood, Ms. Dixon has been proposed as that appointee, and if that is the wishes of council, you can certainly make that motion to appoint her to fill this seat on the Wasatch Board of Directors, or you can appoint anybody else to the council's choosing.
All right, do we have a motion for Ms. Dixon?
So moved.
Mr. Davalt, second? Ms. Berry, okay. All in favor, please, if you will, raise your hand. Good luck, Ms. Dixon. Okay.
Just an FYI, I will remain on that board for the next few months until my retirement, at which time Mr. Milton and I have talked about him being my replacement, but that can come at a later date. So I can help with that transition with Ms. Dixon. The next one, item C on the agenda, is the Cabarrus-Rowan Metropolitan Planning Organization. This is the group that does all of our transportation planning. And it has been put on the table to, we'll take them one at a time. There's a city council committee, and then there's a staff-led committee, and we'll take them one at a time. The first one would be the TAC, the Transportation Advisory Commission, and the proposal is to reappoint Mayor Pro Tem Davalt as the primary representative and to appoint Councilmember Naomi Hatchell as the alternate.
Do we have a motion? Mr. Payne, we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Jackson, all in favor? Please raise your hand. Okay, we've got that.
Okay, and then the staff level technical coordinating committee, the motion would be to reappoint our planning director, Richard Smith, as the primary representative, and our city engineering director, Beth Hassenfritz, as the alternate.
Well, we need a motion on this. Do we have one, Mr. Dayball? Ms. Dixon, the second, please, raise your hand. Okay.
All right. Moving on to item D on the agenda, that is the Concord Kannapolis Transit Commission appointment. I believe Mr. Jackson has asked that he get a break from that commission. He's been serving for several years. That's what I understood, at least. 15, since the beginning.
Yeah.
So it has been proposed that Councilmember Isaiah Payne and Councilmember Diane Berry, who is also already serving on the commission, be appointed to the Concord Kannapolis Transit Commission. So Councilmember Payne and Councilmember Berry.
Do we have a motion for this?
So moved.
Mr. Jackson? Ms. Hatchell, all in favor? Okay. That passes.
Okay. And just so everybody knows, Mayor Wilson will be the chair of that commission. It runs back and forth between Concord every other year. So this is Kannapolis' year. So we'll have 3 members of the 5-member commission, Transit Commission. All right, next on the agenda would be item E, and this is an appointment to Central Iowa Regional Council. This is a group that does regional planning, regional collaboration across the Charlotte region. Former Mayor Hennett was the representative on this particular council, and it has been proposed that Councilmember Naomi Hatchell be the delegate, and Gene Dixon would serve as the alternate to the Central Iowa Regional Council going forward.
Okay, do we have a motion? Ms.
So moved.
Ms. Dixon? Second. Mr. Dayball? All in favor? Raise your hand. Okay.
Okay, Mayor, that's all for the appointments.
Mr.
Turn it
Legg.
back to you.
Okay, now in item F, we have a discussion now in reference to the honorary designation of the Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue Bridge, and Mr. Melton is going to do this for us. Thank you, sir.
Good evening, Mayor, members of City Council. It's my pleasure to present this item to you tonight. I also have some help. I think Pastor Donald Gray is in the audience, but I'll start us off here. As you know, we've received a number of requests from the community regarding ways to honor Ms. Corrine Cannon's works and things that she's done in the community. At the request of the community, as well as some conversations that have been had with council, we've investigated a number of those options that we would like to share with City Council tonight. But before I go forward with sharing some of those options and what we've come up with, I'll ask Pastor Donald Gray to come up and at least share on the community's behalf, and then I'll move forward with talking to council about what we've come up with.
If I could just limp up here. I am so proud to be a citizen of Kannapolis, where I've been all of my life. But this lady that I'm going to talk about tonight is an exceptional individual. Her name is Miss Corrine Lytle Cannon. Miss Cannon was the first black woman to work in Cannon Mills. All of her children, even though her husband could not read, all of her children graduated, with her daughter being the first black president of the prestigious university, Union Theological Seminary. Her son, who was my classmate, Dr. Jerry Cannon, we had every class with the exception of one at A.L. Brown, our 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. Her son, Jerry, was the first black SGA president of A.L. Brown High School. So when I look around and I thought about what could we do for Miss Corrine Cannon. Miss Corrine Cannon, this is personal for me, because Miss Corrine Cannon's sister married my grandfather. And so I called Doug, who I've known for 40 plus years, Mr. Mayor, 40 plus years. And I made a suggestion to him about what I thought we should do. And we went to work to try to come up with formulate a plan to honor this lady, to honor this woman of God. So we thank you for even considering the bridge and anything that you could do to honor this 106-year-old woman. The only thing that I'm asking, when I go visit Miss Corrine, which I have for the last 60-some years, she always tell me, I said, I'm gonna see you later. And she said, don't let it be too long. So what I'm telling you today, she's 106. And I'm gonna tell you what the Bible told, Jesus told a fellow one time, what we do, we need to do quickly. Thank you for your consideration of this bridge and also the roundabout. May God bless you and may continue to smile upon you. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor Gray. I will go through and explain. As Pastor Gray has alluded, one of the areas that was to be considered was the honorary designation of the MLK Bridge. I've got some images that I'll share with you, but I wanted to kind of go through this process. So what will have to happen with honorary designation of this structure in her name? So first of all, it does not change the name of the bridge. Doesn't modify the name of the bridge, doesn't modify the name of the road. It's an honorary designation of this state facility in honor of the individual that council so chooses. And in this case, what's being recommended is obviously Ms. Corrine Cannon. This is an NCDOT process, so it must be approved by the Department of Transportation first. We make a request. That's what City Council's action would be, and then we staff would work on putting together a packet, and there's a number of things in there. There's about 8 or 9 items that we have to have. The next item on there, which is critically important, is that you must have the support of the family, and I think Pastor Gray has talked with the family. This is something that they want. The next item is a resolution from City Council, and it must be unanimous. In order for this to be considered, it has to be a unanimous recommendation from City Council that will be forwarded to the Board of Transportation. The next item that we would have to look at is the time frame in which this needs to be submitted to the departments. It can't be submitted no more than 3 months before the structure opens. It's currently planned in October of 2026. And subsequently, the similar time frame upon completion of the project, we'd be looking at a time frame to get it submitted after the roadway is open. So we want to make sure that we meet it in that time frame to get that before the Department of Transportation for them to be able to consider it. I'm hopeful we can get that information out and we can get a nod that they're acceptable of this recommendation, even if we have to wait before the signs go out to before the structure. 3 months before the structure opens or certainly thereafter. But at least we can get some confirmation. The city must provide background on the individual's character without question. I think Pastor Gray and others, just the testimony that was given tonight, I think is significant in this individual's works in the community and abroad. So we certainly will be able to get that, but we'll help put all that together for the family. And then 3 letters of recommendation that would come from civic groups, service groups, or business organizations, and her recommended her for this. And then there will be a minor administrative fee that covers the cost of the installation of the signs on either side of the bridge, and that's about $2,000. I wanted to share with you, if you haven't seen this before, this is what honorary designation means. This is the Richard Petty Bridge that it's actually on I-40 near Black Mountain, and I know that some of you are thinking, well, wait a minute, why is that the case with Richard Petty in Black Mountain? He wasn't from Black Mountain. Well, the community felt that the curvature of the bridge and the way it banks, that was reminiscent of how NASCAR, I mean, that's a true story, how they actually traveling along there, that felt like it was a NASCAR type thing. So that's why they designated that bridge in his honor, just the way the bridge was constructed and it was banked. Another thing that we've talked about is a potential option. Again, these are all City Council's decisions should you choose to move forward, but we've proposed potentially having some form of memorial that could be placed in the Highway 3, Franklin and Miller Street roundabout. That's not been determined in terms of what that might look like today. That's a decision that council would make. Obviously, there's some funding that we'd have to look at with regard to that. This is not something that would have to go to the Department of Transportation board. This could be handled locally. So this is done by encroachment with the local office. We'd work with them to determine what we want to see in her honor, because she lives just off Charlie Walker Road, right there in Fishertown. So we felt like this would be another good option, and we talked with the community about that. Again, we would be making the improvements in the center part of the island. I've got some photos that I'd like to share with you that kind of what we're thinking that what it would look like. But again, the conceptual design would have to be approved by the Department of Transportation. But again, it's an encroachment. It's not something the board has to approve. This is an image of what, kind of getting the idea, this is what Concord did on Cabarrus Avenue for Dr. King. So you could do something similar to this. This is where there's some, and I think I've saw in some of the information that went to City Council about consideration, but you could do a garden of sorts in there. So you could have some flowers and plantings, maybe some form of memorial, but that's an option that you could look at in terms of having something there for Ms. Cannon along this corridor. And I'm happy to answer any questions that council might have, but those are the two options that we came up with. There could be others, but these are certainly the top two, is what the community has asked for in terms of addressing those concerns. And I'm happy to answer any questions the council might have.
Do we have any questions, anyone? Ms. Hatchell?
Yeah, I just want to clarify that the first option, it would definitely have to be approved by the NCDOT. Like, we could do all parts, and they could come back and say, no, we're not going to let you do that.
Unless there's some significant reason, from what I understand, it's not likely. I've talked to the department.
Okay.
I don't think it'll get turned down, but there is a process.
Okay.
Now, one of the things that would preclude us from being able to do it, and I'm not aware of any of these, but if there is another facility, because we talked about this one time before, if there's another facility somewhere in the state of North Carolina that is in her honor, we wouldn't be able to do that facility. Sure. But from my conversations with the department, there is not one right now. So that's the only key thing that would really preclude us from being able to do it.
Okay, and then my second question would be about option, or the roundabout. Has any other persons of Kannapolis asked to do the same thing in that roundabout? Have you heard any kind of rumors or talk about it with anyone else?
Not that I'm aware.
Okay.
I've not had any conversations.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else have a question?
Just make a comment.
Make a comment.
Thank you, Mayor. Wilmer, great job in presenting this. I mean, I think this would be an awesome thing to go after both projects for Ms. Cannon. You know, I have a memorial for her in my office that she used to come by and show people all the time because of the story that Mr. Gray just told us. And, you know, she's a phenomenal person, and I think sooner the better we can do something for her. It would be the best thing we could do. So thank you for bringing this forward. And I don't know if we need a motion or anything like that, but I'm all supportive of it.
Anyone else? Mr. Dixon?
Yeah, Mayor, I had a comment.
I'm sorry.
So what's our next step to move this thing along? What do we need to do? Can we do something tonight?
Great question. So we didn't want to be presumptuous and assume that council would be 100% supportive and the community, but we felt like that were the case. What will need to happen is at the next council meeting, we'll bring a resolution back for your approval. That's the item. That'll be step one, and we'll begin gathering. If there's a consensus on council tonight for us to proceed forward, we will bring that back to you at the next meeting for you to consider.
Okay.
Very good.
Yep.
Mr. Dixon?
So just along the same lines as Councilman Darrell Jackson, I commend you for the recommendation that you've made in the making the memorial at the roundabout, which is certainly close to her house. I would also suggest that during our meeting in February, which is Black History Month, that would be an appropriate time to celebrate Ms. Corinne Cannon.
Okay. Well, is there a consensus that we move forward with this? I mean, I don't think I have to actually ask for a motion, but everybody's give me a thumbs up, if we will. All right. You have your marching orders there, Mr. Melton. And, okay, so now we have city manager report.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have one thing. I'd like to make a couple of quick remarks. As most of you know, in October of this past year, I decided that the time had come for me to retire from my role as your city manager. Accordingly, this will be my last city council meeting serving in this role. My last day serving in any capacity will be at the end of April, which will mark my 32nd year of service to our community with 22 as your city manager. During the next few months leading up to my retirement date, I look forward to helping our new city manager, Wilmer Melton, transition into his new role. Serving as your city manager has been an honor of a lifetime. Our city has faced many challenges, but together we've celebrated even more successes. I feel both humbled and grateful as I look back on this journey. Since our city's incorporation in 1984, we've had 28 dedicated citizens that have served as either mayor or as a member of our city council, with 3 serving in both roles. While it makes me feel really old, I'm blessed to have served in some capacity under 25 of those 28 dedicated public servants, including the 7 of you seated here tonight, some only for a brief time, which I regret. So many of them have been mentors of mine, and I'm forever grateful for the opportunities and support they've collectively given to me over the years. To our community leaders, development partners, nonprofit organizations, our partners in state government, thank you, Senator, for being with us. I've been honored to serve alongside many of you, including our other local government agencies across the region. The commitment of our regional leaders in making our 2 counties great has really been at the heart of all of our successes. We can't do any of what we've done alone. What I'll cherish most, however, are the relationships I've built along the way, most significantly with my work family. The dedication, talent, and heart of my fellow city employees has been a constant source of inspiration. I'm profoundly thankful for your support, your collaboration, and your friendship through all these years. As I step into the next chapter, I look forward to spending more time with my family, pursuing personal and professional interests, and continuing to cheer on the city I love from a brand new vantage point. While I may be retiring from my position, I'll never retire from caring deeply about this community and the people who make it so special. Finally, I'm so grateful to my wife, Kelly, and my adult children, Tyler and Rachel, for their love and support along the way. There's no way I could have lasted this long without you. I'll be leaving the city with a full heart and great confidence in the future of this place. Thank you for the time, Mayor.
We're getting ready to go into city council comments. I'm gonna go ahead and jump the gun on them and say thanks a lot, Mike, for everything you've done. I don't know that the veterans would be here if it hadn't been for you, so thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you,
All right, do we have any comments from city council? And we're gonna go right down the line. Mr. Payne, will you go ahead?
Yeah. So after hearing many concerns from residents and trying to figure out a way of preserving a piece of Kannapolis history, I believe it is time to consider establishing a historic preservation commission and potentially creating a historic district, especially after what happened on Vance Street and the removal of all those mill houses. I would like for staff to look into this topic and potentially bringing back more information pertaining to it. The second thing was I recently attended a presentation given by our state representative, Dr. Grant Campbell. In that presentation, he talked about hemp and the lack of state regulations around it. Hemp is a variety of the cannabis sativa plant grown specifically for industrial and commercial use. After listening to the presentation and witnessing how many smoke shops we have in our city, especially within close proximity of public schools and Kannapolis City Schools, I would like to ask staff to invite Representative Campbell to come and give the presentation at a future council meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Payne. Ms. Hatchell?
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. I was at the presentation with Mr. Payne with Dr. Campbell and was really hope that we can get that information out to our citizens, especially since technically there's no legal age limit, like anybody can buy this stuff.
Right.
So that's very concerning for the children of Kannapolis and the state. Also, too, I just wanted to report back to the citizens kind of some of the stuff. It's been a busy month and an exciting month. I just want to highlight a couple events. Last Wednesday, Mr. Payne, Ms. Dixon, and Mr. Legg, we had the honor of attending the Cabarrus Summit, which is where the municipal leaders of Cabarrus County, which are cities, and the commissioners, and there were actually some state delegation there. And it was good because we were able to connect and talk about different issues. I want to thank Mr. Legg because he updated everyone with what was going on in Kannapolis, so thank you for that. Just highlight a couple of things that we learned there. The Cabarrus County Animal Shelter. It's a great place. They're having some barriers, but the place is over 25 years old, all that kind of stuff. So I just encourage anyone, if you're looking for a pet, please go to the animal shelter. Or if you don't need a pet, you want to volunteer somewhere, it's a good place. So just want to throw that out there. The other thing that I wanted to bring back to the citizens of Kannapolis, especially since I see there are some state employees out here, AKA teachers, the delegation from Cabarrus that was there, meeting our House representatives and the state senator, have assured us there that they're working very hard to get our state budget balanced, which is very important to our teachers. And they also said that they're putting pressure on the leadership of both the House and the state, that you're welcome to join them in that, or you can talk to them too. They'll keep putting that pressure out there. I just say that because we have a lot of citizens that I know are teachers and do work for the state. The other event that I just wanted to highlight was the Christmas parade. I just want to say, first of all, thank you for the staff. An amazing event. Thank you so much for the hard work that you put into it, whether you were Parks and Rec, whether you were the police keeping us safe, the fire trucks that were there. Congrats to A.L. Brown for sweeping all the awards. So great job all. I told Mr. Payne when we left, I said, I feel like I was in a Hallmark movie. But downtown was absolutely beautiful. So all those things were fantastic. But really the best part of it was the citizens. I have to say, after riding through there and seeing so many beautiful faces, from the little children to the grandparents to the parents that were there, it was just a great reminder of why we serve, and that our best asset of Kannapolis is the citizens that came out there to celebrate the spirit of the season, the hope, the joy, and the love. So thank you guys for being that great community, and I look forward to serving you more. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Dixon?
Thank you. Since this is our illustrious city manager's last meeting sitting here on the dais, I just want to say that for the past 4 years and 2 months, I have enjoyed sitting here beside of you, and even before that, when I served on the planning board, when you were a planner of some kind with Benchmark. Also, I received a call from you sometime after that service to serve on the Newcomers Commission, and that was indeed a great experience. And so just knowing you over these years, and then recently having you join the crew on Inkville Road as my neighbor, I really, really appreciate you, and traveling with you and having you coordinate the trips that we've made together to seek information nationally that we could bring back and share with the citizens and residents of Kannapolis. You have been a professional manager in every sense of the word, and I have appreciated serving with you, and I thank you. And as you ride off into the sunset, I hope that smile gets bigger.
Thank you, Gene. Much appreciated.
Mr. Davant?
Thank you, Mayor. I'll echo the sentiments of Ms. Dixon and Ms. Hatchell and Mr. Payne. Mike, you and I have been together a long time, and I appreciate you and Eddie and the staff for allowing me to become an intern in 2008 when I was in college, and getting to learn about the city from a very intricate standpoint, and I guess justifying or ensuring what I thought I wanted to do in being a part of Kannapolis government in some shape or form. I always said I wanted to be the city manager, but you weren't going anywhere, so I gave up on that. And so then I decided to get on the Board of Adjustment, and the council at the time appointed me to that and served there, and then eventually this board, of course. And I just appreciate you giving me a chance back then, allowing me into the office to be a part of things, helping write the history book, and looking at city hall sites and police department sites, and I mean all kinds of crazy stuff that era of time. It was 5 years out from the mill closing, so we were a very different place than we are today, for sure, and had a lot of different challenges, and you faced all of them with the same can-do spirit that you faced the past 14 years of me being on this board that I've seen you do, and being open and willing to listen to some of us and our crazy ideas that we've had, and bounce those ideas off of you and see a lot of those crazy ideas to fruition. So appreciate wholeheartedly what you've done and look forward to seeing you around town through it all. Just from what Ms. Hatchell and Mr. Payne was talking about as far as the hemp thing, I'd love to hear Mr. Campbell's presentation, so maybe we can get that set up coming up. And of course, the historic thing, I'm a history guy, so love to be a part of whatever discussion on that. And that leads me to my next question. I think Wilmer may be the person that could answer this, but the state highway historical markers that have been up on 29 and various places that the state erected many years ago. There's one down at the Cloverleaf at the QT. It's the marker for James W. Cannon, and it's faded out really badly. And there used to be one over on 29 at the Rowan Cabarrus line. The Granville Grant is what it was representative of, and I think I don't know where it's at right now, but I'd like to check in, and maybe the senator can actually help us with that, try to revise or restore some of those that are around, because that one is really badly faded at QT. I saw it yesterday, and I said, I need to bring that up. So
We'll reach out to the department and get that reported.
okay, thank you very much.
Ms. Barry, do you have anything?
Yeah, I just wanted to say to Mike, thank you for your vast knowledge, your endurance, and your extreme patience. We will be forever grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, Diane.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes. I kind of think back to 2013 when I decided to run for Kannapolis City Council, and we only had one business downtown. I was the last guy standing down there. And when this whole discussion with the council about approaching Murdoch and purchasing downtown seemed impossible. It seemed like a dream, but it worked, and you guided us through the whole process and really made a lot of folks here look good on the city council, because I mean, you did a lot of hard work and kept us out of trouble, and we got it done. And of course, today it kind of speaks for itself. When the first day you sent out the letter about your resignation, I called Mike up and I said, Mike, I had a horrible dream last night. I said, I dreamed I got a letter and you said you were resigning. But, it kind of felt like to me, anybody's ever got their private pilot lessons and you're flying along there with the instructor and all of a sudden you land, and he opens the door and gets out of the plane, and he says, "You're on your own now." That's kind of the way I felt when I first heard that. But we really do appreciate it. I've learned a tremendous amount about municipal business, in budgets. We're running a $100 million company here with 400 employees, and we've been assigned and voted to represent the people here to monitor and make good decisions, and you've always led us in the right direction. So thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Darrell. Appreciate that.
Kelly, I'm not going to leave you out. So if you have anything to say, please join in.
No, for my short time, I appreciate working with you, Mike.
Thank you.
Well, let me say one thing. Everybody else got a shot in here, and this goes back to what Mr. Jackson said. In May of 2014 at a council meeting, Mr. Davant was supposed to be with me, and he copped out on me and said his back was hurt. So I had this crazy idea, and I went up to Mike, and I said, Mike, I think maybe we need to talk to Mr. Murdoch about buying downtown. And several people around me looked a little shocked, but he had the good sense to say, you might be onto something. And you see where we are today. So this is a man of vision among everything else. I just asked a question. So thank you again.
Appreciate it, Mayor.
Again, let's give the man one more round of applause. And now, as we have already addressed, we're honored to have the man himself, Senator Carl Ford, here to do something very special for us. He's going to administer the oath to Mr. Melton.
Put your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand. I, Wilmer Melton III, do solemnly and sincerely swear that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States, that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina and to the constitutional powers and authorities which are or may be established for the government thereof, and that while I will endeavor to support, maintain, and defend the Constitution of said state, not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States, to the best of my knowledge and ability, so help me God.
I do.
I, Wilmer Melton III, do swear that I will well and truly execute the duties of the office of City Manager for the City of Kannapolis according to the best of my skill and ability, according to the law, so help me God.
I do.
Congratulations. I'll address the clerk. Madam Clerk, if this is the paper I'm supposed to sign and turn in, I've written all over it. But we'll do whatever you want me to do.
Thank you, Senator Ford.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, unless we have something I don't see on here, it's time for us to go to a closed session, so I'm going to ask Mayor Pro Tem Dave Alt to get us there.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll make a motion to close this, uh-oh.
Sorry, I'll wait. Sorry, Mr. Melton. Start over.
All right, I'll try that again.
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, I'll move to close the session pursuant to GS 143-318.11A3 to consult with an attorney in order to preserve the attorney-client privilege.
Is there a second? Second. Mr. Payne, all in favor, raise your hand, please. We're now in closed session. We're going to take a 15-minute recess before we go. And I'd like for anybody who wants to wish Mr. Legg well and welcome Mr. Melton to take this opportunity. Thank you for coming tonight. We'll see you in 2 weeks.